Hello students, welcome to first year commerce class. In our previous class we have discussed about merits, advantages of joint stock company. So now in this class we are going to discuss about disadvantages of joint stock company. Disadvantages are also called as demerits. Okay. Demerits means something which are not favorable to us. Not favorable points, not favorable things. Which are favorable things, we say advantages. Which are not favorable means may create some problem, which will trouble us. Which trouble us are called as disadvantages, which benefit us are called as advantages. Okay. So here, as in my previous class I told you that every business organization, every form of business organization, you take sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family, cooperative society, partnership, even joint stock company, have got advantages and disadvantages. But never think that having disadvantages, we don't leave that form of business organization. We discuss the disadvantages only to overcome, only to understand it in a better manner and to obtain better result. We discuss about the disadvantages. For example, even in our academics also, sometimes we say that a particular subject is very hard, mathematics is very difficult if say. It doesn't mean that you don't study mathematics. Means we have to be very careful. So focus it on. Okay, focus more and practice more so that you can overcome the problem of that hardship. So here also disadvantages means it is not bad. Where some points will trouble you, so we have to overcome that. The first disadvantage of joint Hindu family is too many legal formalities. Too many legal formalities. Legal means as per law. As per law or as per act. Whatever we have to complete are called as legal formalities. See, formation of joint stock company is not a easy job when compared to other non-corporate business units. Like sole proprietorship, you can start anywhere at any time. You don't require any government permission. Similarly, partnership, a simple agreement is required. Joint Hindu family, nothing is required. A family can start their business at any point of time. But this joint stock company cannot be started without registration. First of all, you have to complete the registration formalities. If you register, then only you can name your firm as company. If it is not registered, then you cannot call it as company. You cannot issue shares. You cannot get capital from people. If you have to do all these things, means your name should be like Reliance India Limited, Tata Limited, Mahindra Satyam, okay, some company, anything, XY Limited, whatever it may be. If yours should be a company and you have to do business on large scale basis means you have to register. So registration is compulsory. So registration is compulsory. So when registration is compulsory, you will have to do lot of legal work, lot of documentation work. You have to submit various documents, okay, that we discuss in the next chapter. We have to submit so many documents like Memorandum of Association, MOA, Articles of Association, etc. to the Registrar of Companies. Only when these documents are correct, Memorandum of Association, MOA stands for Memorandum of Association, AOA stands for Articles of Association. When these documents, even apart from this, various other documents are there. When these are submitted, then only registration will be completed. Without having registration done, you cannot establish a joint stock company. That is the first task. So, the preparation of these documents is not the job of a common man. An inexperienced, inexpert cannot do all these things. You require the services of various experts like finance managers, financial experts, chartered accountants, company secretaries, lawyers. With the help of all these people, you have to prepare these documents. So, when these documents are submitted, okay, there will be a registrar of companies, a registrar in every district. So, to this registrar, we have to submit these documents. Memorandum of Association, Articles of Association, even if it is a public limited company, a prospectus, then agreement of directors are to be submitted to registrar. Once the registrar go through these documents and he is satisfied, then a registration number is given to you. Clear, ma? So, that is the reason we say too many legal formalities. Always legal formalities means which you have to fulfill, which you have to comply with as per the Act. So, for joint stock companies, what is the Act we follow? Companies Act 1956 and Companies Act amended 2013. 1956 Act was again changed. Amended means changed. In the year 2013, some new rules are being brought into the Act. So, now in 2020, we will be following the rules of 2013 Companies Act amended. Okay. So, we have to follow the rules and regulations of that Act. So, whenever you have to follow rules, definitely it is a difficult thing, because you need to go to various government offices, get the certificates, license, registration. For these things, lot of time and money will be consumed. When compared to other things, other forms of business organizations, they were very easy. Sole proprietorship, joint into family, cooperative society and partnership firm were very easy. Even for cooperative societies, registration was required, but this many formalities were not there. But for a joint stock company, legal formalities are more. So, unless you are thorough in these formalities, how to fulfill them, how to submit various documents, if you do not have that expert knowledge, it is very difficult. So, the first limitation, first disadvantage of joint stock company is it is not easy to form. It is highly difficult. Okay. So, you have to pay, you have to spend lot of money, submit various documents, more time it will take, then only it will come into existence. Then comes lack of motivation. Lack of motivation. What is motivation? Encouragement to do work. Motivation is encouragement to do work. Normally, when people are motivated, say for example, sometimes children at home will be reluctant to work. If they give them some work, go to that shop, bring that, they will say no. And what you will do? You will offer something. You get that, I'll give you a chocolate or I'll give you 10 rupees. Then they are ready to work. So here you try to understand what that chocolate or 10 rupees is doing. It is encouraging the child to work. That is motivating him. That is prompting him to work. So if you give some benefit, so people are ready to work. Normally, what is the motivation in any business organization? Share in profit. So if you enjoy more profits, naturally you will work hard. A student's motivation is the marks, the merit, the encouragement what they get from the officials and the family members. Suppose if a child, a student got first rank, means if some incentive is given by college, fee concession, appreciation from the family members, society recognition, so automatically motivate the student to work hard in the next year also. What the student will feel, yes, last year I got 99 in commerce, so I got lot of recognition. My photo is on the college hoarding in various paper advertisements and TV advertisements. My photo is published. So I got lot of reputation only because of my studies and my hard work. So let us repeat it. So at a student level, the marks, the recognition is the motivation. At business level, what is the motivation? Your profit. For example, I am an employee. What is my motivation? If I am given salary, high salary and at proper time, I am motivated. I feel that yes, I am working hard and I am paid regularly. Okay, higher salary is given, so I feel that I should work hard. I should get more result for my students. So that motivation is different from one person to another person. At student level, marks are the motivation. At employment level, salary is the motivation. Promotion is the motivation. At business level, profit is the motivation. If you are given more profits, naturally you are encouraged to work hard. But unfortunately, in Giant Star Company, that motivation is lacking. Lacking means there is no motivation. Why? Because in Giant Star Company, we understand that shareholders elect directors. Shareholders will elect directors. Directors appoint managers. These people will manage the company. The team of directors and managers will manage the company. So managers are giving their skill, giving their experience, they are giving their ideas. So company is managed. Company earns profits. Who will get the profit? So when they manage the company, when profits are earned, these profits will go to shareholders. Profits are distributed among the shareholders. What do these managers will get? They will get salary, not share in profit. Try to understand, it is a very important point. Managers will get salary. Profits are distributed among the shareholders. So what do these managers will think? Even though we are working hard, we are getting the maximum profits, more profits we are securing. We are earning more profits by our ideas, by giving our experience, by giving our expertise, by showing our talent and skill, we are maximizing the profits. But unfortunately, who is enjoying the profits? The shareholders are enjoying the profits. So what do the managers will think? They think that even though we work hard, we are paid only salary. So why should we work hard? So they don't give any innovative ideas. They sit idle. Okay. They normally just routinely they will be completing their job. They don't come out with dynamism. They never try to maximize the profits of the company. Why? Because they are not given the share in profits. They are given only salaries. Whether company is earning profits or incurring losses, in both the cases they will get salary, no problem. There is no danger for their salaries. Guaranteedly every month they will be getting the salaries, irrespective of these profits. Whether profits are increased or decreased, even they are incurring losses also, they will get salary. So these managers will not take interest, will not show interest in improving the efficiency of the company. So that is the reason you see in the modern days what the companies are doing. They are also offering some incentive to these managers. If profits are there, these managers are given some bonus. Managers are given some incentives like some tours. They are given some 1 week 10 days package to foreign tours or local Indian resorts. Some festival time they are given coupons. That means if company is earning profits, managers are also given some benefits only to motivate them. If you don't give them, they feel that why should we work hard? That is the problem we have got, lack of motivation. Then delay in decisions. Normally you see in previous forms of organizations, only few people are involved, so it was easy to take a decision. But here it is not the case. If any decision is to be taken, like whether they want to buy a new machine, they want to appoint an employee, they want to buy some material, they want to issue some more number of shares, they want to go for some bank loan. So individually, no manager is allowed to take the decision. So here again the problem is managers have to tell that issue to directors. Directors have to convene a meeting. So you know that these directors will not be of the same place. They may be residing at different cities. One may be in Hyderabad, one may be in Bangalore, one may be in America. So these people have to convene a meeting, even if it is of a very important issue like expanding the company, issuing more number of shares. If it is a financial matter, they have to call for the meeting of shareholders also. So naturally, when more people are involved and you have to convene a meeting to take a decision, will it take more time or not? Naturally it takes more time. That means it will be delayed. Immediately you cannot take a decision. Whereas in previous forms of organizations like in sole trading or joint in the family, fatafat we can take a decision because there is only one person to take a decision. But here more people are involved. So individually a manager cannot take decision regarding any matter that is to be put forth before the directors. Directors have to convene a meeting, then they have to discuss a lot. It takes a lot of time to take a decision. So by the time we take a decision, we may lose a business opportunity. That's how delay in decisions is a disadvantage. Next, economic oligarchy. Oligarchy means when power lies in the hands of few is called as oligarchy. Okay, monarchy means when power is enjoyed by one person. Okay, oligarchy means when economic power vests in the hands of only few people. So it is very dangerous. Because of this joint stock system, you know, in India what is happening? Only 5 to 6 families are enjoying the wealth. Reliance Group led by Ambani's, Tata Group, okay, then Lakshmi Nivas Mittal, like few families are there which we have captured the entire wealth. Every family has got thousands of crores of wealth with them. Whereas people are struggling for money. You take Mukesh Ambani, the richest person of the world, means he is one of the richest persons of the world. So you take few people, just we can see in India, even though we have got 125 crores plus population, we have got around 8 to 10 families, we have captured the entire economy. That is very dangerous. पैसे किसके पास है जी आज? Only industrialists have got that money. These industrial families have got that money. That is not advisable to any society. So they are dominating the country. So that is what called as economic oligarchy. Joint stock system leads to economic oligarchy, means financial power is in the hands of only few people. Next, corrupt management. Corrupt means who show the wrong accounts, who manipulate the accounts, and who takes the others' money in an illegal manner is called as corrupt. Corruption means bribe, means showing the wrong accounts. Okay, taking away others' money by showing the wrong accounts is called as corrupt management. Normally you see here, who has invested the money? Shareholders have given money by buying the shares. Who is managing the money? These directors and managers are managing the money. In management of company, they are using this money. Money belongs to shareholders. But how to use money is decided by managers. So these people will show wrong accounts. What do you mean by wrong accounts? For example, they will buy a machinery for 1 lakh rupees. But in accounts, they write 2 lakhs. So this is wrong. This is correct amount. But they show in the books of accounts as 2 lakhs. 1 lakh they will take away. They will show all wrong receipts. For example, some expenditure. If they have paid 20,000 rupees electricity bill, they will write it as 30,000 rupees. So 10,000 rupees, these managers will take away. That is called as corrupt management. Not all, only few people I am talking. I am not blaming everyone. But in various giant stock companies, it happens. For example, you take Kingfisher, okay, Airlines, Vijay Mallya, what he has done? He has taken loans from various banks. He has taken money from shareholders. So what he has done? He has enjoyed, launched various parties. He flied from one country to another country, enjoyed parties, given parties to his friends. So a lot of money is looted. So shareholders' money was enjoyed by Vijay Mallya. Now where is he? He is in England. Okay, after some number of years, sometime he may be put into prison. That is different issue. But what he has done? He has misused the money. That is called as corrupt management. It happens in giant stock system. Money belongs to some people and it is enjoyed by other people. Next, excessive government control. In case of giant stock system, giant stock companies, government's involvement will be very more. Always they will be seeking for reports. Government will be troubling you. Get the license, show us the documents, show about your business activities, payment of taxes, lot of taxes, sales tax, excise duty on goods produced, then for labor, provident fund rules, various rules will be there. So government will be intervening in your activities again and again. It leads to a lot of problem. Then comes lack of secrecy. Secrecy is not possible in giant stock company because always you have to discuss everything in meetings for showing the expense and incomes, various financial matters, borrowing money from a bank, repayment of loan or expansion of your business to various other areas, establishing a new branch in the other state. All these things are to be discussed in meeting. You cannot keep anything secret. Even every year, at the end of every financial year, whatever the profits and losses you have got, your statements like profit and loss account and your balance sheet, you have to furnish to the registrar of companies. You have to publish your accounts in the newspapers. So naturally, you cannot maintain secrecy. So when these are revealed, these are disclosed to outsiders, that may lead to competition and we cannot manage our company properly. Then the last disadvantage is conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. Conflict means thinking in different manner. Conflict means thinking in different manner. I am thinking in one way, the others are thinking in the other way. That is called as conflict. Interest means your vision, what you want to do is called as interest. So for example, you want to do MEC and you want to become CA, that is your interest. And your parents want you to become a doctor. This is what called as conflict of interest. Your interest is to become chartered accountant and your parents' interest is to make you doctor. Got my point? You want to study MEC, you want to do CA, that is your interest. Student interest is CA, parent interest is doctor. This is called conflict of interest. Means one person thinks in one way, the other person thinks in the other way. That leads to conflict. Not going in the same manner is called as conflict. So in case of giant stock company also, there is lot of conflict of interest between the shareholders and the managers. Sometimes managers think in one manner, shareholders think in the other manner. Means the thinking of both the people will not match. It is called as conflict. Say for example, managers are there. If a company has earned profits, managers may feel that rather than distributing these profits among the shareholders, let us buy a new machinery and expand our company, increase our production. Whereas shareholders may feel that rather than buying the machinery, better it is to be distributed among the shareholders as dividend. So here shareholders are expecting dividend, managers are interested to buy the new machinery. इसको बोलते conflict of interest. Sometimes even the creditors also. Creditors means the people who has given us loans. They want repayment of loan immediately, but our managers or shareholders may think it in the different manner. because more number of people are involved, shareholders, directors, managers, outsiders. So when different people think about in different manner, so that leads to conflict. So these are the disadvantages of joint stock company.